Good afternoon, I'm Shawnee Au and this is One News Now. The post-holiday surge in COVID-19 cases will likely reflect in the middle of January, according to experts. For the details, Greg Gregorio is reporting to us live from Mandaluyong City. Hi, Greg. What are officials from the health department saying about this?
Sean, the health department says it's too early to conclude that there's indeed a post-holiday surge of COVID-19 cases. This despite the increase in COVID-19 infections in Metro Manila as monitored by UP experts. Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergara reports a 4% decrease in the reported cases in NCR. Vergara notes that the downward trend in infections is due to the decreased COVID-19 testing turnout. She explains that testing reports went down to around 22,000 from the previous 36,000 average daily figure. This is attributed to the closure of some labs during the holidays, while those that remained open received fewer to zero specimens. Vergara warns that non-submission of test results may lead to the suspension of lab licenses. In fact, one unnamed testing lab has been suspended already, while 4 others are facing pending suspension. Let's hear more from key officials of the DOH.
Sa January 15 pa lang natin talaga malalaman kung ang inaasahang mag-surge ay mangyayari o hindi. Dahil nga itong nakaraan na mga holiday season,
diyan lalabas yung pagdami ng kaso at tataas talaga. Basically because itong laboratories natin would be fully functional already and fully operational start today.
Sean, as for the latest on vaccines, China's Sinovac and Sinopharm are planning to apply for an emergency use authorization in the Philippines this week. This was announced by our ambassador to China, Chito Santa Romana, during today's Laging Handa press briefing. Sean?
Thank you for that update, Greg Gregorio, reporting to us live from Mandaluyong City. Meanwhile, more local governments are announcing their respective plans to procure COVID-19 vaccines. Mayor Abby Binay says Makati is allocating 1 billion pesos to inoculate all of their residents for free. Valenzuela City is also setting an initial budget of 150 million pesos to vaccinate their constituents. Meanwhile, Ayala Corporation has confirmed that they ordered 450,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine, half of which will be donated to the government. On One News's agenda, Marikina Representative Stella Kimbo raised the need to define the role of the private sector in vaccine procurement to avoid hurdles in importation.
Kailangan mabalangkas din ang role ng private sector. So yung mga may kaya, syempre they would have to purchase from the private market. You might need to incentivize, 'di ba? Kailangan ba ng tax-free? Kailangan ba ma-exempt sa taxes ang pag-import halimbawa ng vaccines ng any private group?
Health Secretary Francisco Duque III wants the public to wait for the findings from investigations into the unauthorized vaccination of some PSG members. In today's Laging Handa briefing, Duque said they have yet to receive updates. But the Health Secretary notes that the DOH will be coordinating with the Philippine Regulatory Commission or PRC to see if doctors who gave the shots are liable for possible violations. As for Senator Bato de la Rosa's remark that the PSG did not violate any law, Duque says he respects the lawmaker's opinion. For its part, Malacanang says that President Duterte is praising PSG members for serving as, quote, guinea pigs of the still unregistered vaccine.
Ang mahalaga po rito ay kung ano po ang kakalabasan ng investigasyon ginagawa ng FDA. Huwag po natin pangunahan ang anuman resulta na ilalabas ng FDA, NBI at saka Bureau of Customs sa naturang investigasyon.
We'll have more stories after this quick break. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The health department reported fewer than 1,000 new COVID-19 infections on Monday. And that brings the country's caseload to above 478,000, some 21 of which are still considered active, or 21,000 rather. Quezon City has the most number of fresh infections. On the other hand, 26 more patients have gotten better from the disease, pushing the recovery count to over 448,000. The death toll, though, has climbed to more than 9,200, with 6 fatalities reported overnight. Over in the United States, deaths have surged past the 350,000 mark, according to Johns Hopkins University. America remains to be the worst hit by the pandemic, with over 20 million COVID-19 infections. Several lawmakers support calls to amend the Universal Health Care Law, specifically to suspend PhilHealth's mandatory contribution hike. For the details, joining us is Ria Fernandez from the Batasan. Hi, Ria. What is the latest on this?
Sean, no less than President Duterte is backing the calls of several lawmakers to defer the increase in PhilHealth contribution this year. This as the country continues to grapple with the COVID-19 pandemic. President Duterte would sign any measure that would suspend the contribution hike, according to Senator Bongo. The president is also eyeing the possibility of augmenting the PhilHealth budget after a thorough review to avoid a halt in the agency's services. Marikina Representative Stella Kimbo tells One News Agenda that her proposed Bayanihan 3 contains a provision deferring PhilHealth premium hike this year. But according to Anakalusugan Representative Mike Defensor, the Public Accounts Committee, which he formerly chaired, had already sought to stop imposing mandatory PhilHealth contribution increases on OFWs as early as August. But even without these remedies, the lawmaker believes PhilHealth can postpone the hike on its own for at least 6 months. For her part, House Health Committee Chairperson Helen Tan assures the public that they will give utmost priority to any proposal for the deferment. Several lawmakers also at the upper house are supporting the call. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III, however, says the ball is with the Congress after all. Effective January 1, 2021, the premium rate of contributions of PhilHealth direct contributors will increase to 3.50%. This means that those who earn 10,000 pesos and below must pay 350 pesos monthly. Those with more than 10,000 peso up to almost 70,000 pesos salary will have to contribute around 350 pesos to almost 2,500 pesos. And those with a pay of 70,000 pesos and above will contribute 2,450 pesos in a month. Employees will share the cost with their employer, but self-employed individuals, including OFWs, will have to shoulder everything. Sean, amid all these, PhilHealth says that they are doing their best to settle their debts with Red Cross in relation to the free COVID-19 testing of OFWs. Sean?
Thanks for that update, Ria. That was Ria Fernandez reporting to us live from the Batasan Pambansa. Several government agencies are looking into reports of online sex sale involving students, and some of those who sell themselves online say that they do this to finance their distance learning needs. Shyla Francisco with the report.
It was in August last year when Bong, not his real name, started sending sensual pictures online. He says he had no other choice but to do it due to lack of funds for his education as a college student. For only 500 pesos, Bong will send at least 5 pictures and 2 videos to a customer. His video call rates, meanwhile, go for 100 pesos per minute, while a hookup costs around 5,000 pesos.
Nakapasok po ako dito kasi po sobrang hirap po ng sitwasyon niya. Na po college student po ako. Sobrang taas po ng tuition at sobrang hirap po.
A quick search online shows other students, some minors, resorting to selling nudes under several hashtags. On Christmas, some users even offered promos and bundles for their restricted photos and videos. The materials are priced for as low as 150 pesos, which can be paid online either directly or through a middleman. This has prompted Senator Win Gatchalian to call the attention of the Justice Department and National Police. Gatchalian, who chairs the Committee on Basic Education, Arts and Culture, urged an intensified crackdown on such acts. In a statement, the lawmaker notes that the pandemic has made students more vulnerable to sexual abuse. For its part, the PNP Anti-Cybercrime Division vows to investigate and monitor such posts on social media. Chief Debold Sinas, however, notes that they can only step in when someone files a complaint.
Kasi mahirap din naman kung mga personal accounts nila yon at papakialaman po natin, no? Until such time that they will complain na in-exploit sila or may violation po, saka po muna makikialam ang pulis po doon. We'll task our cybercrime to monitor this one and maybe track and inform the parents or forward the problems to DSWD for their intervention.
The NBI Cybercrime Division, meanwhile, says they have been tracking the activity since June.
Totoo may mga estudyanteng gumagawa ng ganito. Kaya lang may mga nakikita din kami na nagpe-pretend lang sila na mga estudyante sila pero mga professional workers sila.
Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara has directed the NBI to submit investigation reports in 10 days. Shaila Francisco, VR1 News.
For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Sean Yao, and we are One News.